Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to my channel and happy Halloween. This is actually going to end up being a bonus video today. I am posting my final episode of Monster Prom, and then I also wanted to put out a Sims video for you guys. I have a speed build that will be coming out tomorrow, and I just wanted to do a cute little Halloween themed video, so what better to do than some ghost Pokemon create a sim. So I have like a new group of subscribers on my channel that may not be familiar with this series because I haven't touched it in a while, and I actually recently published my Sandshrew and Sand Slash create a sim, but that was kind of an emergency backup video that I have a few of, and those are just basically posted for when I couldn't get a video out on time. So I didn't really get to explain this whole thing. But if you are newer to my channel, I actually have a series where I create Sims that are based after Pokemon, and I've been going through the original 151. So if you want to check out the playlist of those Sims, and some of them are older, way older, so I think some of them even have my old intro. I will link the entire playlist down below. I have done Bulbasaur up through Sandshrew and Sand Slash at this moment. But I wanted to do some Pokemon that were ghosts, obviously in theme for Halloween and for October, and also some that are outside of the original 151 because other than doing it this way, I may never get an opportunity to attempt something like this, and it's very in theme, you know, we can do something a little spooky, we can get away with a little bit more detail. Some of the Pokemon that are outside of Gen 1 are way more detailed, and I can just do so much more with them for outfits and details and things on the sim in general that I can't really get away with first gen Pokemon. So we are doing Mimikyu today, Pumpkaboo, and Litwick. All of these sims are available for download on the gallery under my origin ID, The Alleged Simmer, all one word, and their custom content is linked on my Pinterest, which is down below in the general Create a Sim folder. So for Mimikyu, the whole spiel behind it is basically that it is a Pokemon nobody really knows what it looks like, and it's wearing some sort of a costume. So it's super, super appropriate. It's also like a really cute kind of Pokemon. So I did want to give her a softer looking face, and I loved the idea of doing like some kind of doll stitched together skin. And then I found these button eyes that come in red, which is obviously a huge shout out to the red scribbles on the side of Mimikyu's face. And the whole thing in theme just really making itself look like a doll or something that is wearing a costume over itself. So I tried to match a lot of the colors, a lot of the blacks and the ombre hair for the ears, and really just doing like the general doll look. So I did want to do like a burlap dress. If anything, Mimikyu looks like he or she is wearing a dress. So I found like a burlap brown dress that really, really paired well with the entire theme. And that is Mimikyu. So moving on to Pumpkaboo, I think is how you say it. I didn't even know there was a pumpkin Pokemon. I actually Googled pumpkin Pokemon just out of the blue just to see if there was anything, because after Gen 3, I am literally so clueless as to like Pokemon, their names. Even in Gen 3, I'm kind of like iffy on a lot of them. So some of the newer generations, I just kind of fell off of it. Like I would say when I turned around like 18, 19, I sort of fell out of Pokemon, and it's more recently that I have gotten back into it. I watch a lot of theory videos, a lot of content related to that, a lot of PokeTubers, and I am going to be buying Sword and Shield when it comes out, I think on November 18th. It might come out on the same day as University, which is kind of funny. So I am excited for all of that, but I wasn't familiar with Pumpkaboo. So the entire aesthetic is obviously a pumpkin with some sort of like gremlin looking thing on the top. And originally I did want to go with a sim that looked a little more spooky, because that was really the intent of the whole video, was to get away with a lot more as far as like the spooky aesthetic goes. So I was originally doing these like glowing yellow eyes that did look okay, but when I finished the sim, I just kept looking at her and I was like, something about her really doesn't look right to me. She basically looked like any other sim that I had ever created, and if anything, for these videos I really try to go for like the facial structure of the Pokemon, and it helps to give a huge diversity when it comes to creating sims that I personally really enjoy. So I did later on switch for regular yellow eyes, and I think that that ultimately ended up being a really, really good choice. But as far as her hair, there is some kind of a like little swirly top ponytail going on, this little gremlin creature. So I thought that a hair that was a little bit shorter, out wider to the sides, with some kind of a half pony or a half bun up top would be super, super appropriate. And I found this one that comes in various shades of like more natural browns. And then the skin tone ends up looking like a more like natural skin tone, but when I originally picked it in game, it was a pastel-y sort of orange, which as you can see is the sort of color of Pumpkaboo. So I try to usually pair like the actual skin tone with whatever the main color of the Pokemon is. For the outfit, I really didn't know what I was going to do, and you'll see me pairing a lot of different stuff together. I ended up finding this dress, and I did stick with it. So I wanted something that maybe was like a ball gown or something that had a really large circular rounded off shape on the bottom, but it all looked a little bit too cartoony, and I also try to keep these very realistic. When I originally started the series, that was kind of my intent, was to make them almost normal looking Sims, but obviously just themed in a certain direction with a lot of colors that are very themed for whatever particular Pokemon I am working on. However, if you like took away the weird skin tones and maybe like changed some of the colors up, I wanted them to be somewhat normal looking and just maybe in reference to the Pokemon, because I could have gone like completely crazy with all of these and done like wings and all sorts of crazy markings, but that was never my intent. So I wanted a somewhat normal looking dress, and I really did like the structure of that one paired with some high brown stockings that have lines going through them to kind of pair with the lines going through Pumpkaboo. And she's actually wearing pumpkin earrings too, which you couldn't see with the hair, but they were there, and those are linked on my Pinterest as well. And then last but not least, we have Litwick. So Litwick is really, really cute. It's a candle. It's kind of dainty. It's sort of sweet. And I'm not sure if the round thing on its face is a nose or a mouth. Sometimes I look at it and I think it's a mouth, and it's kind of like a cute little curled up mouth. And sometimes I'm like, no, that's like a really big nose, or it's like a dripping piece of wax that's supposed to be a nose. So I kind of just decided that it was going to be a nose, and I tried to mimic the shape of the nose on this sim. And then I also did decide that this was probably the more appropriate sim to go with the glowing bright yellow eyes and give it sort of that ghostly look. Almost like I think a lot about Belle's Castle when I think of Litwick for some reason, because I could see Litwick as like a little character that was existent in the castle that had sort of come to life, a lot like Lumiere. And then I struggled with, how am I going to get some kind of something on the top of the head that goes straight up, that has sort of like a fading color to it to signify the flame on the top of Litwick. And I played with a lot of different ideas. This was actually originally supposed to be Mimikyu's general look, was like the beanie and everything, but ultimately I felt like this was the best way to go for Litwick, because I really didn't want to do like an ombre hair, although that was probably like the obvious choice. To me, when I look at Litwick, it has like sort of hair around its face, and it's very short and curled. And I found this one that I'm currently using, and it has more volume on the left and sort of swirls over half the face. Very, very similar to the original design. And then I put a beanie over the top of it that comes in like a bluish color, and I was like, that might be it right there, because it has the same sort of idea. As far as the skin tone goes and like the rest of the structure, I did pick a really, really white, almost ghostly sort of skin. And then I found these ombre skin patches that you can put all over the body, but the one that goes down the forehead seemed to work the best to give that sort of ombre effect and bring in some of those purples that Litwick has into the actual character design. And then again, I really just didn't know what I wanted to do with the outfit. So the beanie kind of lends itself to maybe doing like a street punky look, and I was originally like, maybe I'll do some tattered clothing, like a cute t-shirt dress. But then I put this one dress on that was off the shoulder, and I paired it with a scarf, and it overall had just this very like winter outfit. And the dress to me sort of signified the way that candle wax will melt and sort of like layer over itself the way that a candle does, with the off the shoulder dress and then the added scarf is sort of like the layers of wax going down. And then I covered the arms and the shoulders up with an additional undershirt, and it's a little bit hard to tell, but she is actually wearing purple ombre stockings as well to bring some of that purple from the bottom all the way up to the top, up as like a full ombre effect and for like the full flame effect, paired with some purple shoes, or white shoes, excuse me. And that is actually going to pretty much be it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, if you would like to check out all of the other Pokemon that I have made, they will be linked in a playlist at the end of the video any moment here. And let me know what you thought of all of these. How did I do? What would you have done differently? Would you have designed them a little bit differently? And again, happy Halloween. Check out my Monster Prom videos as well if you would like something to watch that is like a little bit more Halloweeny, Monster Prom, spooky, not safe for work. Definitely 18 plus. But thank you guys again all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon below to turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time I post. And I will talk to you all in the next one.